adherence to processes. Please put your hands together to welcome DTM Sateesh Kumar onto the stage to perform the to present the management book review.
Thank you so much, Anirudh. The warm, great morning, Heracles. So today I am going to review this book called Ultra Learning. Ultra Learning by Scott H. Young. I should thank our Ashok Kumar for referring this book, and I used to wonder where he gets ideas and innovations. I think he read more. You know, this book's when I was reading this initially, I had this book for a year, but when I was reading it specifically for a review, I got to know why did I missed it for a year. So I would, before going to the whole content of the book and the review, I would like to take few examples which was quoted in this book and what all about this ultra learning. So this author who was experimenting something new in his early days of his life, before even enrolling himself into a college. So he was experimenting about how does this full-time 4 years education helps me, or can I have some alternate for this? So he wanted to have learning for everything with a very short time. So he wanted to multiply the efforts he put in for learning. So what he tried was, he tested the option available in Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. They provide an online program of their whole curriculum. So he started doing research on those program and curriculum, and he started studying rigorously for 1 year program, and he wanted to achieve the whole 4 year syllabus and go for exam. So we might think that the same way he had a few other examples. There is someone called Lewis who wanted to go to every new countries every 3 months, and he wanted to learn that language. The only thing he did was not to start with going into a classroom where he learned the language and every other things. He made a clear saying to himself as a mandate rule that he will stop talking in English. The moment they step down into a country, say for example they step into France once, they started talking whatever they know with their French. What come way, they may not talk in English. Same way when they step into Spain, though they were grammatically not okay, though they were having a lot of embarrassments in talking to a native speaker with a very broken language of them, but it didn't stop him from learning 8 different languages within 2 years of a span. There was another person called Jivis. He was preparing for a program called Jeopardy. I couldn't relate it for an Indian, but you might have heard about it, from the age of 12. And he created an algorithm about those thousands of shows which was aired, and finally he aced it at the age of 23. You know, part of his own learning process. So overall, these examples are provided in this ultra learning book to tell us how this ultra learning can be a great point of focus for us in this ever-changing world. So that brings the story of why this ultra learning as a topic is interested right now rather than early days. So that brings to the question of there are 3 kind of people existed in the whole job market. One is highly skilled, which are less than available, and there are very menial job they do, the routine job they do, they're the lower class, and there is a huge chunk of a middle class where that does a plenty of jobs which are routine in nature. Because of this changing in the technology and the automation, it is being, research has been claiming that the gap between these two are shrinking, and predominantly this high skilled job are very limited, increased by a bit of percentage, but this middle class job roles which are closed very towards the lower one, and they were doing only the routine job, or else it has been replaced by an automation or robotics. Artificial intelligence. So the reason for ultra learning is becoming much more important because this change in technology, change in automation brought us this high skilled job more important. So that brings to the topic, why do we need this ultra learning so much in this ever changing world? So ultra learning is not about taking an example. They have given some 9 principles which I will come out in another minute. 9 principles of how can I learn it. More than this as a principle, the author has brought a lot of life lessons from individuals who has evolved themselves on implementing this ultra learning and succeeded in their life. So it can be achieved in 3 different ways. One is take a break, sabbatical, do your program and come back and go for your career enhancement. Or you enhance your part-time learning allocate a time of 30 hours, 40 hours in a week out of the whole 24/7 we have, and utilize the time for the learning. Or the third one is, which is very, very easy for all of us, is already we were doing something called allotting a time for a professional learning. So why don't we convert those time into a need for this ultra learning? So the idea of ultra learning is learning fast on a skill or a kind of a topic you wanted to learn, and apply them with your own flexible term. Not necessarily you need to follow this all 9 principles what he has brought to us. Maybe I'll quickly run through them because that is something we can take a lot of clue from here. This is so inspiring that it had a great correlation with one of the individual who excelled in Toastmasters as well, because that's where the whole book turned to be a great inspiration for me. There is a person called McLeod, who was a musician who used to play a guitar and everything, and he came to this author, said, I want to be a guinea pig for your program of ultra learning. Then he suggested, I am already learning a guitar, why not I learn piano? I know little bit. So he said, ultra learning or learning a new skill, it is not about the same CC7 objective or the research and presenting objective. It is not about picking up a topic you are good at it. Go and suggest or pick up a topic or an area where you are totally unaware, but you want to excel, such that you can test this ultra learning. So this person, being an artist, initially he thought about piano, finally he decided, why not I try public speaking. So this guy joined the club and he got a mentor immediately. He joined the club. It was a real story where I led. He is having an ultra speaking as a website and running huge program on helping corporate people. He joined the club within 7 days before the ISE contest season. So within 7 days, I was also reading Wow Factor. How can he do the 6 speeches? That time it was CC Speaks about 6 years back. He delivered 2-3 speeches in a day, got a feedback, went to his art director, went to his music directors. We went to so many people in addition to the mentor in a club, and he completed all 6 speeches, straight through pass from club, area, division and district. Finally, he was the finalist in World Championship in Public Speaking. It was a great inspiration for me to learn.
Which year?
In 2015.
Name?
McLeod. And there was a mentor. So this was kind of a wow factor for me. Someone can straight go up to a district, okay. From there clearing unto a finals of the World Championship of Public Speaking, but he never cleared it that year. But the point was, this ultra learning as a guinea pig, he was there. People got inspired, and he and his mentor together started running a company, and they are floated themselves as ultra speaking, and they are mentoring people. They wanted this ultra learning methodology and mentor them within a short span for their career to progress. So that's how this topic came into my ambit, and I am so glad that I took this book and I am reading it, continuing it with practicing it. It also suggests you can pick up a project for yourself and try your own ultra learning project, and you can be successful. So this talks about 9 simple principles. I'll just quickly run through them. First thing is, number 1 is about first draw a map. It's more about identify the subject or a skill you want to tackle and make some good research, whether it is really related to you or you want to do something outside of this, number 1. Number 2, sharpen your knife, which is focus. Cultivate the ability to concentrate. So more about, not to get distracted, and also you need to find a time to concentrate so that you can achieve this learning part. Number 3 is directness. Go straight ahead. Learn by doing things what you do here at it, good at it, right? So you wanted to insist that go and start doing it rather than looking at it. Like people say, the first 3 hours of a day are the most productive day where you are so much charged up. So the same way, go straight ahead. Number 4, attack your weakest point. People say always, concentrate on your strength. Here you want to mention clear point is, if you identify as a weakness, the Lewis, when he was working for a Jeopardy program to prepare himself, there is one topic of art he was lacking. So he started putting in more questions on the art portion of the questions, and he built in more than 30% of questions in his 1000+ art shows. So that's where attack your weakest point. Number 5, retrieval, test to learn. So this is more about, rather than waiting for a semester exam while he is doing MIT 1-year program, he wanted to test himself in the first class itself, to apply, take a test and get a feedback, rather than waiting for it, and more like a agile we say rather than the waterfall. The 6th one is the feedback. Don't dodge the punches. It's more about feedback is always harsh and uncomfortable. don't hesitate to go to someone to get a feedback, because that's what make you a better person. The seventh one is retention. It's more a very funny one. Don't fill a leaky bucket. Understand what you forget and you don't remember. For the sake of understanding in MIT, he did not mug it up. He did not even wanted to memorize things. He wanted to understand the in-depth meaning of it so that he can deliver it. Eighth one is intuition. He said, dig deeper before you building up. Develop your intuition through the play and understand the scoring. The final one is experimentation, which is going outside your comfort zone. So overall, these are all the 9 principles. Doesn't matter, you will apply everything one by one, ditto, no. At our comfort, timing, whether it is about a break, sabbatical you take, or about the timeline you use for the free time, or you built a huge timing in it. But I found it, initially when I read, I found it is not logical, or it is not possible for everyone. And ultra learning is only for people like Lewis or McIntyre who are having a special talent. But finally, when he tried it with the individual common people, it is more about if you have an urge and you have a nudge to get into a career, into a different vertical as well, or you want to enhance yourself. I am sure this ultra learning is going to be a great helping hand. It's becoming another Bible for me. Over to you.
Thank you for that excellent review, Toastmaster Sateesh. I usually look into Meraki book reviews because I want to know whether I'll purchase a book or not. I would say an excellent book review is something that makes me want to purchase a book. There is this app called Uptime which gives a short summary of famous books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I went into a trial period and read through some books. Today's session was very similar to that app where I got a full summary of that book. I'm not sure whether I'll purchase, but I will definitely apply the learnings of all these 9 points. Thank you so much for that excellent management book review once again.